Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't.
Please welcome Nicki Minaj.
Erika Kirk didn't hesitate to bring Nicki Minaj out to hype her festival, even though her husband never liked her. And that alone should tell you how far Charlie's movement has drifted from what he actually stood for.
This holiday season, my prayer for you is to honestly just rest. That would be my husband's message as well. There's a lot of noise out there. Holiday season can be really crazy, but I just pray that you find some alone time with the Lord and your family. Love on your babies, love on your family members. Life is short.
Sure, some people say this is all about growing TPUSA, but if you look just a little closer, it's obvious this was never about the movement. It was about one thing. And yeah, they got exactly what they wanted. I'm sure most of you have seen JD Vance's speech from this festival.
For many years, our fellow Americans have been dealing with a globalized economy that homogenized cultures and hollowed out our towns. Academics and activists pushing race and gender politics down everyone's throat 24/7. Big tech overlords using their internet platforms to censor stories that challenge the dominant far-left narrative in our country.
I think it's safe to say this speech made him the clear GOP frontrunner for the 2028 presidential run. He looked sharp. He hit on some solid talking points, but the moment he started talking about Charlie, the tone completely changed.
I'll tell you something I haven't talked about publicly before, but in the days after Charlie's death, I struggled a great deal. I'm sure many of you did too. I remember watching every video of the assassination, looking for clues, trying to understand what happened. I'd try to hide my friend and that terrible bullet hitting him, but I would try to look around. I stayed up all night for many nights in a row, researching every conspiracy theory, going down every rabbit hole. When my lovely wife, Usha, told me to come to bed, I told her I owed it to Charlie to try to uncover every stone, and so that's what I tried to do. I remember I was consumed by this fear that Charlie's death wouldn't just deprive a family of their husband or of a good father, but that it would deny our movement of a great unifier of people and a great doer of great deeds. It's the only time I can remember my wife ever telling me that she was really worried about me. She told me it many times. But what saved me was not lying to myself, but accepting the reality of the fight that we're in. Charlie's death was an immense loss, an irreplaceable loss. We got kicked in the teeth, my friends, and there's no sugarcoating it or pretending that it didn't happen. We need to accept that. And what saved me was realizing that the story of the Christian faith, like the story of these United States of America, is one of immense loss followed by even bigger victory.
On the surface, it sounded like he understood why people are skeptical of the official story. Like he understands why people are angry with the FBI and other such agencies. But in reality, he shut down everyone who's been trying to uncover the truth about Charlie's assassination. According to JD, it was just a tragedy. Nothing more. All orchestrated by a crazed, far-left lunatic.
And we might ask, what are the fruits of these people and their principles? And the answer is a man named Tyler Robinson who killed my friend. Think about it. He is everything that the far left want from our young men. He rejected the conservatism and the spirituality, the values of a small town family. He moved into a small apartment. He became addicted to porn. He became addicted to hate. And he ended up sleeping with somebody who doesn't know whether they're a man or a woman. That is the nightmare scenario, but that is the scenario that the left has actively advertised they want for American families. And the young men in the audience in particular, that is exactly why we have to fight them.
Now look, plenty of people, they want to believe that. So, of course, this narrative is going to land well with a lot of voters. But the problem is, it doesn't line up with the facts. JD Vance claims he's seen all the revelations in this case. If that's true, then he knows there are countless questions the FBI and law enforcement never answered. And let's start with the most obvious one. The only people who interacted with the alleged shooter after Charlie Kirk's assassination were construction workers hired by UVU. They were the ones who essentially helped police locate the weapon. And yet, this is how they described the shooter.
We met an electrician working near the university who says someone matching that description approached a co-worker at this job site.
He had black sunglasses, he had a black COVID mask, he had a black trench coat, black cargo pants, and he was wearing a small backpack, and he also had long, greasy black hair. The guy said, "Someone's been shot."
Looking back on it, did that person think that was the shooter now?
The guy was already trying to leave. And so we were then shown a picture by the sheriff at the time, and the excavator said that it matched.
We also never got an explanation for the man who caused a massive distraction in the critical moments after the shooting.
We don't know if it's him or not.
The same man who now wants to distance himself from any other conspiracy.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why would anybody want to think that I was involved in that? Everybody wants to tie me with every kind of crime in the country. And I'm and I just don't need that. I'm here for what I did, and I wasn't even around during 9/11. I was in Denver. I'm here for what I'm here for. Well, people are just going to talk. People are going to talk, and I've had it. When I have nothing to do with any of that stuff. The only thing that I'm in here for is my cases. Nothing else.
We never even got clear answers about the weapon itself, even though experts trashed the official story on the very first day.
Well, we definitely penetrated our water jugs, and I don't think this is going to help to stop the conspiracy theories. His head fell off.
Look at that. I mean, watch that.
Then there's the crime scene. Why was UVU in such a rush to cover it up that they hired crews to renovate the area on a Sunday?
What's up, guys? Hey, I just want to share a quick post here. I got a call about a week and a half ago from a couple of maintenance guys from the state of Utah that had been asked to replace, to beautify an area where a brother had been gunned down. It was Sunday. I usually don't work on Sunday, but I needed to be useful. And so I showed up with a couple of my brother, with a couple of other brothers that we all have differing beliefs and differing viewpoints. And together we were useful. It was heavy to work where a brother was gunned down, but we did it. And I've wanted to make a post. I haven't wanted to be controversial. America is founded on people with different beliefs working together. And that's exactly what we did that Sunday and that Monday. And I'm getting some hate online for it. I'm getting some fake reviews. And, the answer to hate is love. And the answer to falsehood is truth.
These are just a few of the points I've raised on this channel. Questions that have never been addressed by anyone in power. But instead, we're told to move on. After all, Charlie's death conveniently led to Erika taking control and JD Vance getting the biggest endorsement he could have ever hoped for.
We're going to ensure that President Trump has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, JD Vance, elected for 48 in the most resounding way possible.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD.
Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying JD Vance had anything to do with what happened. What I am saying is this. If you're going to use Charlie Kirk's movement as a launch pad for your presidential campaign, the very least you could do is bring justice for what happened to that man. But we all know that's not going to happen. The same people who benefit from incidents like this are pouring millions into JD and plenty of other politicians. And as for their end goal, I'll just let them explain it themselves, since they love talking about their version of the future.
I should not need to remind you that in the sort of quasi-mythological New Testament account, the slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety.
I think it was Ivan Illich who said that in the time before Christ, there were many forerunners to Christ. In the time after Christ, there will be many forerunners of the Antichrist.
You're supposed to worry about Armageddon. You're also supposed to worry about the Antichrist. Maybe you're supposed to worry more about the Antichrist because the Antichrist comes first.
About the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world. I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done.